Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 205 based on novel. So let's start. Within the main hall. These group of Undyings with their underlings, there were a total of thousands gathered in the main hall. The three tycoons chatted for a while before walking up to the main stage in front. Attention all. Ape-man Purple Lightning smiled at the many Undyings below. Ha, the many Undyings all smiled and looked up, ready to listen to the three tycoons speak. When it comes to picking from the virtual universe company's genius battles, there's one batch after every era. However, to actually defeat the absolute geniuses who had trained for thousands of years in the qualification battles and make it into the primal region, how many are there? Purple Lightning spoke loudly. Everybody thought Bolan was the genius of the past 10,000 eras, however the person I'm speaking about is even stronger than Bolan. His improvement speed is much faster. For such a genius to appear, there will probably be only one in every million eras. Who is he? Purple Lightning was all smiles. He's none other than our Ganwu department's new supervisor envoy, Luo Feng. And for a long time in the future, he will be myself, Gold Feather official and Black Yang official's best partner. Right, he will be our best partner. Many things in the virtual universe company's Ganwu department will be requiring his supervision. Gold Feather spoke too. For the virtual universe company's headquarters to send Luo Feng to join our Ganwu department, myself, Gold Feather and Purple Lightning are incredibly happy to be able to work with True Yang Emperor's favorite disciple, an absolute genius like Luo Feng. The black-robed lady smiled and said, her voice resounding throughout the entire hall into everybody's ears, "Let us welcome Mr. Luo Feng up here. Welcome Luo Feng up here." Purple Lightning and Gold Feather shouted passionately. With the three tycoons that passionate on stage, how could the Undyings from the Ganwu universe country not follow suit? If they did not show their support at such a critical time, the moment it was remembered by the three tycoons, that would mean big trouble. Hence, the group of Undyings all acted extremely passionately. Luo Feng! Purple Lightning shouted passionately. Luo Feng could only walk up the stage. The three tycoons' passionate welcome also made the great Undyings shocked. The three tycoons of the Ganwu department, they were usually arrogant. Very few in the Ganwu universe country could make them act like that. However today, isn't he just a supervisor envoy? Is there even a need to act like this? If that Luo Feng doesn't fall in line, then it will be secretly arranged by someone to make him disappear. When that happens, there wouldn't even be any proof. No matter what, it's only a domain lord level punk, there are means to deal with him. Some of the Undyings discussed secretly. Killing Luo Feng, don't you know his teacher is True Yang Emperor? Would True Yang dare make a mess without any proof? Ha, looks like True Yang has indeed been in Primal Chaos City for too long, over 1 trillion years in there. It's resulted in many forgetting his incident. The group of Undyings, the thing they were most used to doing was to destroy their enemies from the core. Hence, even though they knew Luo Feng was the supervisor envoy, he was after all still only a domain lord level 9 little boy. It made many of them naturally underestimate him. However, seeing how the Ganwu department's three tycoons were that passionate and expressing their support towards Luo Feng, they were showcasing the fact that Luo Feng was from the same faction as them, and that they were the four tycoons of the Ganwu department. Messing with Luo Feng would mean messing with all of them. Those words were an attitude and a declaration. Immediately, it made the group of Undyings all change their mindset. Hence, at this point in their hearts, Luo Feng's position stood higher than before. Offending Luo Feng would mean offending the three tycoons, and offending them would mean being pushed aside in the Ganwu universe country. Many Undyings saw through it clearly. Obviously, Purple Lightning, Gold Feather and Black Yang official, their background isn't sturdy enough, they are afraid of Luo Feng finding trouble with them. During the time Luo Feng is the supervisor envoy, there's one more person we cannot offend in the Ganwu department. Luo Feng is considered the fourth tycoon. The group of Undyings all pondered from their families' perspectives, clearly recognizing Luo Feng's importance. After the Ganwu department's four tycoons walked down from the stage, the many Undyings then began to enjoy the ceremony. The staff who were around began to bring out valuable and delicious food the three tycoons had brought over from different parts of the universe. Immediately the entire main hall was bustling with discussions. Gold Feather and the rest are so blatant in their attitude, obviously they are showing their support for Luo Feng. Silver Snow official sat in the corner, smiling and nodding. As long as we can get Luo Feng's help, the matter would almost be resolved. Ji Feng Yang said softly. Teacher, look over there, Bushka. Yukon said. Silver Snow turned to look, easily spotting the distant tall and skinny man with lumps all over his head. He couldn't help but say coldly, Bushka? And beside him should be Hong's teacher Luo. I didn't expect them to have the right to come to this ceremony. I really wonder what the three tycoons are thinking, ancestor, Hong and Little Ching's matter. Ji Feng Yang said softly. Chasing him out of Jade Dome Star or killing him is useless. Silver Snow said coldly, we have to make Ching Ching choose to give up and forget that punk, that's what I need. As for that Bushka, he doesn't dare mess with me. And that punk Hong, has no threat whatsoever. Solve it any way you want. Ji Feng Yang and Yukon nodded. In their eyes, Hong was akin to mud, they could need him according to what they wanted. Stay here you two, I'll look for Luo Feng to chat. Silver Snow stood up. Yes, ancestor, teacher. Ji Feng Yang and Yukon said respectfully. Silver Snow then headed straight towards the group of Undyings who were chatting with Luo Feng. He's coming. Luo Feng saw from the corner of his eye that Silver Snow was walking over. He thought, I haven't even looked for him and he's coming to me by himself. Listen well. Luo Feng communicated to a sector lord in the side of the hall, in a while, when I begin chatting with Silver Snow, you'll head to the study and bring my big brother Hong to the main hall, and get him to shout loudly for me. Yes, your majesty. The sector lord nodded. In just a few seconds, Silver Snow automatically began chatting with Luo Feng. Luo Feng was incomparably passionate and respectful as he began to chat with Silver Snow about his escapades, expressing his shock and respect. And the sector lord that stood at the side saw the scene and immediately headed to the study. After entering through to the door. Within that study, Hong sat on the sofa. Hong turned to look at the sector lord who entered. Mr. Hong. The sector lord spoke, His Majesty ordered that you should follow me into the main hall and when you see him, shout out to him. Understood. Hong nodded. He got up and followed the sector lord out of the study. Exiting the study, he entered the main hall and with a glance, he saw the delicious delicacies that were around, which was enough to make normal Undyings bankrupt. This included even the group of Undyings and all the upper echelons of the Gunwu universe country. The only one above them was the country leader, it's him. In the distance, Ji Feng Yang who was paying attention to the surroundings saw Hong in the side, he frowned. Why is that punk here? How did he get in who? Yukon asked curiously. The youth standing there. Ji Feng Yang said softly, he is Hong. That's him? Yukon looked carefully at Hong. After Hong entered the main hall, he too carefully observed the scene. There were thousands within the hall, the powerful law energies caused a great mix of law ripples throughout. Hong swiftly discovered a silver-robed man chatting with his brother, Luo Feng. Third brother. Hong shouted, his voice reverberating throughout the main hall, drawing the attention of many Undyings. A universe-level punk? The group of Undyings were all curious. Speaking of which, the Bug Clan region was extremely terrifying. There were endless amounts of bugs, just looking at the numbers would shock anyone. During that battle, we had 32 Undyings, yet 28 of them died. Silver Snow stood there, his eyes filled with nostalgia, telling Luo Feng the tragic battle of back then. Luo Feng listened intently, almost holding his breath. Third brother. A voice resounded. Luo Feng turned to look and smiled, big brother, in a second. Silver Snow who was in the midst of speaking was stunned before he smiled. Ah, Luo Feng's big brother, who is it? He turned to look, spotting the silhouette in the distance. That silhouette continued, okay, I'll wait here for you. Silver Snow squinted, staring at the silhouette. It's him? Big brother? Silver Snow turned to look at Luo Feng. Luo Feng kept his smile and said, that's my big brother Hong. My brother through life and death, brother through life and death? Silver Snow was immediately thrown off. He had recognized Hong the moment he spotted him. Due to G Ching's matter earlier, he had checked up on Hong's information, and his pictures, footage etc. However, Silver Snow official, he really didn't know of his relationship with Luo Feng. Hong and Luo Feng were life and death brothers, that was indeed never made public. Back then they both took part in the genius battles under the Black Dragon Mountain Empire citizen identities. Hence from the outside, people only knew them as Black Dragon Mountain Empire people. As for their relationship, if one didn't try hard enough, it was indeed hard to check up on. That punk is actually Luo Feng's big brother, and life and death brother. Silver Snow frowned, as many thoughts floating through his mind swiftly. He was an Undying, even though it had been very long since he actually needed to scheme something. his consciousness calculation speed was extremely fast. It swiftly connected Luo Feng's passionate greetings, Bushka and Luo's appearance, and he understood everything. No wonder Bushka was able to attend this ceremony, no wonder Luo Feng was that passionate. So, it's all because Hong is his big brother. Silver Snow looked at Luo Feng before him. Luo Feng, however, kept his smile and looked back. Looks like my brother cannot wait any longer. Silver Snow official, the affair between my big brother and G Ching, I don't wish to intervene. But I'd like to ask, what's the matter with that? I wonder if you could enlighten me. If you cannot, that's fine too. Silver Snow looked at Luo Feng and squinted as he pondered. Finally he spoke, since Hong is your big brother, I'll tell you. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Looks like there was indeed a reason for Silver Snow to stop Hong and G Ching being together. Sit. Silver Snow pointed to the side. Luo Feng nodded and sat today. G Ching. Silver Snow sat and poured himself some wine, simultaneously speaking, this child is the most exceptional genius of our G family in 1 trillion years. The first time I met this child, I only exchanged a few words with her. From within I was surprised to discover she wasn't ordinary at all. Luo Feng listened quietly. She is a genius, our G family's absolute genius. Silver Snow smiled. She walks the path of a spirit reader hypnotist. Hypnotist? Luo Feng frowned. From the genius battles before, with only one Jiolai 11 actually making it through, it was easy to see, it was extremely hard for a hypnotist to make any progress at all, an exceptional hypnotist at that. Hence, she was accepted in the Universe Mercenary Alliance Corps. Silver Snow smiled. You should understand that all hypnotists that have shocking accomplishments all have great understanding of the characteristics of people. Luo Feng nodded. To become a strong hypnotist, the requirements were extremely high. In terms of character and people's aspirations etc., they had to have an extremely deep understanding. Such a genius like G Ching, a genius that can clearly see through character and aspirations etc., she doesn't need any mental state training. Silver Snow smiled. Whatever she does, I can rest assured. And in the vast universe, love and relationships, the strong all have thousands to tens of thousands of partners. This is very normal. For a strong man to have countless women, a strong woman to have countless men, according to my character, not even her relationship with Hong, even if she had thousands of men, I wouldn't bother. Luo Feng looked suspiciously at Silver Snow. What did these words mean? If he didn't mind, why stop them? The one who's stopping them isn't me. Silver Snow emphasized to Luo Feng. It's her teacher, Fantasy Spirit Emperor, it's her teacher? Luo Feng was shocked. Fantasy Spirit Emperor, is that Spirit Devil Clan great being, Fantasy Spirit Emperor? Silver Snow nodded. Luo Feng felt his heart sink. After following his teacher Tru Yang and listening to his stories, he often heard of powerful beings from him. That Sky Feather Emperor was one, and Fantasy Spirit Emperor was another. Fantasy Spirit Emperor was a member of the Universe Mercenary Alliance, an Emperor-level Undying that was extremely terrifying. Even though he had only passed the 19th level of the Heavenly Bridge, in terms of origin law comprehension, he seemed to be below Tru Yang and Sky Feather Emperor by 1 level, but she had incomparably peculiar hypnotism powers. Hence, amongst the Emperor-level Undyings, she was one of the most terrifying beings. The moment one was attacked by her, they would unconsciously be dragged into an illusion and die within. And the most intrepid thing was her slaves. There were 81 Undyings under her control, of which there were 79 official level and 2 Emperor-level Undyings. This level of control was much stronger than the master of the Yunmo planet Hu Yangbo. Back when he heard of her story, Luo Feng was incredibly shocked. She was too strong. Just the Undyings under her went up to 81? And 2 Emperor levels? One had to know that his own teacher Tru Yang Emperor had taught so many disciples, yet he only had 1 Emperor-level disciple. Fantasy Spirit Emperor's position is heavily worshipped. Luo Feng frowned. Even if G Ching is her disciple, she needn't micromanage that much, right? Don't tell me anyone who becomes her disciple cannot have a relationship. It is truly that way. Silver Snow official shook his head and sighed. Luo Feng, I don't know if you've ever searched up on the information regarding her disciples. There are 19 disciples under her, of which 7 are men and 12 are women, and these 19 have lived for extremely long, existing over trillions of years. However, they all have one similarity. Similarity? Luo Feng was suspicious. The 19 have never ever had a relationship. Silver Snow emphasized. Luo Feng was shocked. In the vast universe, it was easy to find a partner that one could fall in love with. Hence it was very strange that the 19 had never found a partner. Back then, Fantasy Spirit Emperor had found out through one of her channels about G Ching and Hong. She was immediately enraged, asking me directly if Ching Ching had performed any acts of the love. From my energy sense, I could still feel her life energy was still very pure, never having engaged in any of the acts. Only after knowing that did Fantasy Spirit relax a little. However, she warned me strictly to stop this affair between her and Hong, otherwise she could only expel her and not let her stay as her disciple. Luo Feng realized. Silver Snow looked at Luo Feng and sighed softly. You should understand why I stopped it now. It wasn't me that wanted to, but Fantasy Spirit Emperor. Just being an absolute genius isn't enough, one has to have a good teacher. My G family hasn't had an absolute genius like her in so long. For such an exceptional genius, how could I let her be expelled from Fantasy Spirit Emperor's door? Luo Feng nodded. It was easy to understand Silver Snow official's thoughts. To actually become a disciple of a great Undying was an extremely hard thing to do. Just like himself, when he was one out of the 1,000 geniuses in the same batch, finally those able to get an Emperor-level teacher didn't even hit 10, much less an absolute pinnacle being who were considered powerful even amongst the Emperor-level Undyings. That was purely a miracle. How can this be? They are but her disciples. Is there such a need to meddle in their affairs? Luo Feng frowned. I'm not clear of the reason. Silver Snow shook his head. I only know that Fantasy Spirit Emperor doesn't allow her disciples to have any affairs, otherwise they'd be kicked out. Luo Feng was troubled. What should he do next? Fantasy Spirit Emperor. This was a being close to Sky Feather and True Yang Emperor. Luo Feng gazed around. The group of Undyings here were high in position in the Ganwu universe country, however none of them were Emperor level. And Fantasy Spirit even had 2 Undying slaves that were Emperor level. Fantasy Spirit Emperor could be completely careless about the group here. My position here is nothing against her. Even my teacher, he could at most speak on equal terms with her, he cannot make her submit. Luo Feng thought. True Yang, Fantasy Spirit, even though their strengths were close, the two were of different factions. Fantasy Spirit had no need to submit to True Yang Emperor. Silver Snow official, is there any other way? Luo Feng looked at him. I have no way. Silver Snow shook his head. Fantasy Spirit couldn't care less about me. Luo Feng frowned. If your teacher True Yang appears, there may be some chance. Silver Snow suddenly said. Luo Feng glanced at Silver Snow. He didn't wish to make his teacher show himself for such matters. I've already told you the details. I have no other way, but I have to tell you, for Ching Ching to get Fantasy Spirit Emperor as her teacher is a great miracle. I definitely will not allow her to be expelled. Silver Snow looked at Luo Feng. Within the main hall, the great beings of the Ganwu universe country all chatted in their groups, and in the corner, Hong, Bushka, Luo, and Dylan stood together. I wonder how Third Brother's chat is going. Hong looked at the distant Luo Feng chatting with Silver Snow. Don't rush. The white-haired Luo smiled. His Majesty Luo Feng has a special position, he even has the 3 tycoons of the Ganwu department behind him. Even that Silver Snow official has to respect him. He can disrespect me, but he wouldn't dare disrespect Luo Feng. The tall and skinny Bushka with a head full of lumps smiled. The black-robed bald man Dylan snorted softly. The Undyings in this hall, many of them have Undyings under them, however none would dare disrespect His Majesty. Hong nodded, looking at the distant Luo Feng and Silver Snow. After a while, Luo Feng and Silver Snow finished their chat. Luo Feng turned and walked towards Hong. Third Brother. Hong welcomed him. Big Brother. Luo Feng walked over, his expression complex. Hong saw Luo Feng's expression and knew within that things weren't looking good. What's the matter? Hong asked softly. Big Brother. Luo Feng found it hard to say. It's this way, the one truly stopping you and G Ching isn't Silver Snow official, but Fantasy Spirit Emperor. And this Fantasy Spirit Emperor, Luo Feng explained in detail and described how terrifying she was. Bushka, Luo, and Dylan stood beside and listened. That's how it is. Luo Feng looked at Hong. There's actually the Fantasy Spirit Emperor behind this. Bushka's expression changed. She's extremely hard to deal with. Dylan frowned. Even if my teacher appeared, it would still be useless, unless it was the ancestor teacher. There may be some use there. The white-haired Luo frowned, looking at Hong, saying softly, Student, since it's Fantasy Spirit stopping you, and all her disciples are single, it's fated that she would absolutely never change her rules easily. From what I see, you should just give up. Hong stood there silently. Give up, why do all this for a woman? Bushka advised him to, even if you see through it, it's useless. There are some things we should give up, but some we have to persevere at. Hong revealed a smile, looking at Bushka and Luo. Teacher, Elder Bushka, I definitely won't give up that easily. Third brother. Hong looked at Luo Feng. Whatever you need me to do, just speak. Luo Feng looked at his big brother. I'm truly troubling you this time, otherwise I wouldn't even know the reason now. Hong shook his head. In his eyes, I'm probably not even worth the explanation. I have something I need you to help me with now, and also the last thing. Big brother, speak directly, we are both from Earth and Life and Death brothers. Hence, you can skip the formalities. Luo Feng looked at Hong. I wish, Hong looked at Luo Feng, to meet Fantasy Spirit Emperor once. Luo Feng, Dylan, Bushka, and Luo were all shocked. Meeting Fantasy Spirit Emperor? Luo Feng, Dylan, Luo, and Bushka all had wide perspectives of the universe. Having seen much around, they also knew of the pinnacle beings of the 1008 universe countries. For a small universe-level punk trying to meet True Yang Emperor, would it be that simple? It was simply dreaming. Similarly, would it be so easy to meet Fantasy Spirit Emperor, Big Brother, this? Luo Feng frowned. Wanting to meet Fantasy Spirit, he himself didn't have any connections with her, and never seen her before. Is there no way? Hong looked at Luo Feng. If there's truly no way, then, don't rush. Luo Feng shook his head. Big brother, I can only say I'll try my best. Hong nodded. The ceremony went on. Luo Feng lifted a wine glass and returned to Silver Snow official's side. Luo Feng. Silver Snow sat there, slightly lifting his glass. Beside, the Undying Yukon and Sector Lord G Feng Yang immediately made way. Luo Feng sat opposite Silver Snow and smiled. Silver Snow official, I have something to ask of you. What is it? Speak. Silver Snow G Ching looked at Luo Feng. He was filled with disdain when dealing with Hong, however towards Luo Feng, he was still respectful. An absolute genius that was that glorious in the virtual universe company, with even True Yang Emperor supporting him from behind. As long as he didn't fall, he would be terrifying in the future. Luo Feng smiled. Please help me send a mail. Mail? Silver Snow official squinted, asking curiously. It's for Fantasy Spirit Emperor. Luo Feng nodded. Silver Snow official was shocked. I'll write the details of the mail. Naturally I'll let you see it too. Luo Feng smiled. No matter, this mail is for you to send. Naturally I won't get you in trouble. Ha ha, I'm not worried about that. I believe that even you Luo Feng wouldn't want to mess with Fantasy Spirit Emperor and enrage her. Silver Snow nodded and smiled. This is the content. Luo Feng lifted his wrist and on it a mail appeared on his screen. The mail was already opened. Silver Snow read the mail on the screen. He wishes to meet Fantasy Spirit Emperor? He really dares to wish it? That universe-level punk, without any special background whatsoever. With Fantasy Emperor's status, why would she meet him? Silver Snow was very shocked. He looked suspiciously at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, do you have such a need to stick your neck out for him? He's like my blood brother. I definitely have to help. Luo Feng said. Silver Snow nodded. I'll help you send this mail to Fantasy Spirit Emperor. As for whether she wishes to actually meet Hong and you, that'll depend on luck. Silver Snow smiled. I'll give you some advice. If your teacher True Yang is willing to appear, no matter what, at least to meet up, Fantasy Spirit Emperor will definitely meet you. Luo Feng smiled and shook his head. Without a foolproof plan, it was best not to trouble his teacher. His teacher was already teaching him and he was incredibly grateful for that. As for troubling him with these matters, wouldn't his teacher become a nanny then? This was highly disrespectful. It's already sent. Silver Snow looked at Luo Feng. The moment she wishes to meet you, I'll inform you. Thank you. Luo Feng smiled. I'll give you my virtual universe network number. You can contact me directly. The main man of the ceremony was Luo Feng. As it went on, Luo Feng lifted his wine glass and chatted with many of the Undyings. The group of Undyings all didn't dare underestimate this punk. After all, just his power alone was enough to affect all of them. The ceremony finally ended. However, Silver Snow had yet to receive a reply from Fantasy Spirit. Jade Dome Planet, Luo residence. The true upper echelon of the Ganwu universe country had all left in their universe ships. Even the three tycoons Purple Lightning, Gold Feather and Black Yang official had left. Night. With the guests all gone, Luo Feng walked alone in the quiet and spacious palace hallways. Big brother. Luo Feng spotted the black-robed Hong silently sitting in the grass patch. Luo Feng was like a breeze moving through the railing, quickly reaching Hong's side. Hong turned to Luo Feng and said, "Sit." Still troubled? Luo Feng sat and smiled. Not troubled, just waiting. Hong turned and smiled at him. Waiting for the opportunity to come. No matter what, at least tonight I found out why Silver Snow official stopped me and G Ching. After knowing the reason clearly, only then can I think of solutions to solve the problem. You seem very confident. Luo Feng smiled. Not one bit, only, there are some things that one must do. Hong laughed. After trying one's best, only then would there be no regrets. Even if I cannot do it now, when I get stronger in the future, even stronger than Fantasy Spirit Emperor, I'll then bring Ching Ching back myself. Luo Feng looked shocked at his big brother. Stronger than Fantasy Spirit Emperor? Was he simply bragging or just very confident? Fantasy Spirit Emperor, that was absolute a pinnacle being that stood at the top of the universe. With just a wave of her hand she could kill trillions, making an entire group of Undyings fall under her hypnotism and die within. With no boundaries within, the future becomes limitless. Hong looked at Luo Feng. Third brother, don't have any fear within. If you let yourself feel certain things are extremely hard to pass, how would you be able to do it in reality? Luo Feng was stunned. With no boundaries within, the future becomes limitless, no matter how powerful a being is, they all took steps to get there. Hong laughed. As long as you keep improving, and with an endless lifespan, then, becoming a great being in the universe isn't impossible. Luo Feng nodded. Suddenly he paused for a moment. He quickly connected to the virtual universe network and instantly returned. Big brother. A smile showed on Luo Feng's face. Hong looked at Luo Feng and smiled. Looking at your expression, it must be good news. I just received Silver Snow official's mail. Luo Feng smiled. Silver Snows? Hong's eyes gleamed. He forwarded Fantasy Spirit Emperor's reply. Luo Feng smiled. She's agreed? Hong's eyes gleamed with visible light. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. Right, Fantasy Spirit Emperor will send members under her to head to Black Dragon Mountain's 9-star bay, who will then bring us to meet her in her palace. Luo Feng said, hence from now on, we have to constantly maintain a thread of our consciousness in the virtual universe network to await the order and meeting. Hong nodded. Virtual universe, Black Dragon Mountain Island, 9-star bay. Luo Feng and Hong looked at the man before them. This man was 3 meters tall, with a couple of black feathered wings on his back, and on his forehead were 10 horns that were different in lengths. He wore black armor and he smiled as he looked at Luo Feng, True Young Emperor's disciple Luo Feng. How do you do? I am Fantasy Spirit Emperor's disciple Bushler. How do you do, Bushler? Luo Feng nodded. This is the punk that wants to marry my junior? The black-feathered man glanced at Hong. His lips curling into a smile, almost somewhat disdainful. Hong wanted to answer, but he quickly turned back to Luo Feng. Let's go, teacher is waiting for you too. All right. Luo Feng nodded and immediately, the 3 of them followed the man and swiftly left 9-star bay, reaching a teleportation region not far from there and transferred. Luo Feng, Hong and the black-feathered man Bushler appeared within a vast palace plaza. Rumble. The waves crashed against the shore. The entire palace was 100,000 kilometers tall, and was split into 9 levels. The lowest level was closest to the ocean, and the plaza Luo Feng the others appeared in was the 5th level's plaza. Follow me. The black-feathered man led the way. Entering deep within the palace, they proceeded. Even Hong was a universe level. Hence, the speed at which they moved at was extremely fast. In just a few moments, they reached the 7th level. This was a quiet hall. At the entrance stood many ladies dressed in mist-like white robes, with furry tails waving from behind them. These ladies all had purple eyes that were extremely enticing, and when they looked over, it made others feel their desires within. With the black-feathered man leading, Luo Feng and Hong entered the hall. They continued forward. The women that stood on the sides, from the initial white-robed ladies all changed to black-robed ones. However, it was obvious they were all from the same race with purple eyes and furry tails. After another 1,000 kilometers, they became purple-robed women. What mysterious illusions! Luo Feng walked within the huge hall and looked at the women standing at the sides. He unconsciously fell into the illusion, feeling as though the ladies all became naked as they exuded their mysterious seduction and drew closer to him. To no available, Luo Feng and Hong were both people who had reached high levels in mental state training. Hence, illusions that weren't deliberately targeted at them completely had no effect whatsoever. Teacher. The black-feathered man bowed respectfully, his voice resounding throughout the large hall, echoing continuously. Luo Feng and Hong stopped simultaneously. They looked up and saw in the distance a huge throne with incredibly complex engravings all over. In it lay a curled-up woman with purple long hair, purple eyes, and long bushy tail. When the pair of eyes looked down, the surrounding sky and land almost felt like it was engulfed in a powerful energy. Fantasy Spirit Emperor. Luo Feng held his breath. Having heard of her power before, Luo Feng didn't dare hesitate. Luo Feng? A gentle voice resounded from the distant throne high above. Indeed, a genius that actually passed the Fantasy Ocean's 10th island during universe level. Such solid mental state. I like you punks with such solid mental states. Your teacher Tru Yang has such good foresight too. He nurtured Bloodthirst Emperor before, and from your information, you kill very madly too. The Tru Yang lineage are all like that. The teacher kills madly, even the disciples are as such. Thank you for the compliment. Luo Feng bowed. His teacher Tru Yang did indeed have time where he madly killed others. Only now was he much more low profile compared to the past, staying and studying within Primal Chaos City. Otherwise, with just the level of explosiveness alone, his teacher wasn't below his third senior Bloodthirst Emperor. The great being from the Spirit Devil clan lay lazily in the huge throne. Her purple eyes gazed at Hong. You are the Hong that G Ching had mentioned. Yes. Hong bowed and replied. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.